Hey guys, Chief Fruity here. This is the behind the scenes of drop number 16. In this video I'm going to show you guys arrangement and some sound design that went into making the behind the scenes of drop number 16. So as you can see, I did get a new camera angle here. I think this is working out pretty well and it'll work better than like just the straight on of my face, which originally that camera angle is from right here. So now I'm getting it from over there. So I hope you guys like it, and without any further ado, let's get into how I made this drop. So right here, I'm going to play through what I have so far, and then I'm going to break it out piece by piece. And then in the B section of the drop, I changed it to be like this. So this is my first attempt at drum and bass. It's not really full on drum and bass, it's kind of like a drum and bass dubstep hybrid, but they're definitely like with the drum beat. That's definitely a drum and bass beat, but with the bass, it's kind of less D&B. And with the tempo at 175 right here, that is pretty fast, so that's like a D&B tempo. Then up here, I don't know why these are here. These can go away. So let's get rid of these just to simplify it down to just this, because this is really all that's going on. It's literally drums and bass. So right here, let's get into this first guy. So this bass is a Harmor patch. Just drop the octave down. So, pretty much what's going on inside of this Harmor is it's a part A and B mixture. So it's mainly part A, but there's a tiny bit of part B in there too. So the phaser is being mapped to mode X, and that is what is giving it this. So that's how it gets its modulation, is by the phaser. And then, let's see, the phaser shape is this. And this is a growl shape, so that's why you get that growl form. Normally the phaser is like a triangle, but when you change it into a growl form, then you get a growl sound. The width is up a little bit, the offset is pretty much default, the speed and KBT are all the way down, and that when the speed's up, like how it normally would be, that sounds really weird. The reason why that sounds weird is because then the phaser is actually changing phase when you want it to just lock into this phase and follow this growl. So that's what's going on here. Then I have unison at 2 voices, and that kind of just breaks it up a little bit more, gets it a more unison. I have the pitch on the unison up pretty high, so when you drop this down, that's really what it would sound like without any unison at all. So let's put this back up, about 70%. And that really breaks up the sound, so you get that unison sound that really fits with this bass pretty well. It's on a saw wave. Let's see what else is going on. That's pretty much it for part A. Now in the part B, the phaser's off. There's no unison. The wave is onto pretty kind of like a sine wave here. Let's see. It's not loading the waveform. So as you can see, it's just slightly up on this side. So you just pull this up a teeny bit, and then you get this wave here. That's on part B, and this part B is it's not engaged hardly at all. So if we take off part A and we're just left with B, it sounds like this. And you just really get just this saw. That's pretty much all that's coming through. And you notice that when I did that, the mode X didn't do anything. And that's because mode X is going on part A through the phaser. So that's all that's going on inside of this Harmore, and this is mapped to track 6, where I have it running through this patcher here. So, on this patcher, I have it going through this EQ, boosting some lows, because like the harmonics up here, there's a lot of that. I don't think these really need to be boosted. So I wanted to boost the low to really pop out that bass. Since I wasn't going to be running a sub underneath it, I just put it in there so it would be kind of like running with the sub on its own. So that's why I did that. And then with this wave shaper, just to get it some distortion, because it sounds a lot better with the distortion as opposed to just like this. Really just pop that out. And then I have a vocal decks here, where I put the bands onto the high, the female vocal type. I got something in my eye. It's just okay. So this is what it would sound like on the normal vocal type, which is this is normally where you'd want it for a bass to be on the low frequency. But I put it on the high frequency really to pop it out, because like for a D&B, I wanted to get those higher harmonics used a lot more than the lower harmonics, because these are the ones you can actually hear. So I really wanted to pop those out. I put up the band values all the way. Though it does sound pretty good right here. Sounds more like a D&B bass when you crank that up. And have the compression all the way up and the wetness all the way up. And yeah, that's pretty much what's going on inside of this Vocodex. Then it goes through all those to FL Studio again. So that's it for that bass. Now I'll play it through it again. And then there was one variation I made of this bass right here. And all I did here is I just moved it up like an octave. So let's see, here it's normally playing at C3. Here it's playing at C4. So I just moved it up an entire octave, and then this is the phaser modulation going along with it. So it may have sounded like a different bass, though it's the same one. You just throw it up an octave and change the way and the style you modulate it, and it can sound completely different. And you save time because you don't have to sound design another bass. You can just use the same one. And it also helps to keep like everything sounding in tune, because it's all like in the context of a song, like the basses fit, which in this case is just a drop. Here I have this FM bass. This one is a lot more scratchy. I would say that this one is not as well developed as the other, but I kind of wanted it to be kind of rough, to kind of contrast with the other bass a little bit more. So I'm going to link this to my map here. So what I have going on in this citrus is I have a bunch of triangle waves. So I have 3 triangle waves, and then I'm not using these operators. I am using operator 5, not operator 6 or 4. So I'm using 1 through 3 and then 5 for my operators. And then I mapped on operator 1 the modifier to mode X. So this is running the filter. And then on operator 2, I have it engaged slightly, running operator 2 through operator 3. I'm running operator 4 through 3. And these are just the values. They're not turned on very much except for operator 2, which is negative 100%. Operator 3 and 4 are negative. And that's just the polarity. It doesn't really matter a whole bunch. And then here, I didn't do anything with ring mod. Pretty much, it just needed the FM here. It didn't really need any ring mod. But ring mod is definitely a cool thing to mess around with to use that. So don't think that like ring mod is useless. Like there's definitely cool stuff to be done there. Just for this bass, I used the FM. And that's pretty much all it is in Citrus. 6 voices of unison. I boosted that up a little bit. But most of what gave this bass its sound was what the effects I put onto it on track 9, which was this Vocodex. Pretty much just take a bass, put a Vocodex on it, and it sounds really good. So that's pretty much the logic I used here. Put on this Vocodex, cranked up the compression, boosted the wetness, boosted the band values, and I put the harmonic type up to female again. Because here it shifts it down, and here it sounds like it's filled with a little bit too much sub. So you can hear this bass a lot better when you put it up there. So pretty simple Vocodex there, and then the EQ, I boosted a bit of the lows and a bit of the highs. So you can hear the harmonics a little bit better here, and then the lows, because I wanted to get the little bit of bass up here up a little bit more, so it felt a little more thick and it had more mass to compare with the other bass that I have playing. So just both the basses, it's like this. So that is that. Here I have the drum beat. Pretty fast, and that's due to the 175 BPM. So the kick is just the GRV 25 kick. Put this to track 1. I took out the super low frequencies here around like 90 hertz. And the reason it's good to actually take out some of the super low frequencies on your kick is because if you think about it, the bass sounds you have on the kick, okay, let's go to the bass, are around, see, this is 90 hertz, and then below even, it goes like below to like 25, maybe 20. So around 90 hertz is where this bass is playing. So the kick, I took out pretty much everything around that range, just so there's not like a whole bunch happening on that frequency. Because when the kick is at 90 hertz, playing at 90 hertz, and the bass is there, then that's just like a whole bunch happening on that frequency that you may not want to have happen. So I took out those frequencies there for the kick to kind of open up that space, so when the kick plays, there's not this huge collision like right around here every time the kick plays, because then it would just sound like a big massive sub is playing, and that would be kind of bad. So by doing this, you get to lower this frequency, or it's more like right here. 90 hertz is right here, like on with the kick, and then the bass can play there, and that's just like a mixing drums technique. It just sounds a little bit better when you do that. And then for the snare, I just added some reverb. Pretty simple. Hi-hats, I didn't do anything to the hats, and the crash, just kept the crash exactly the same. Just turned it down a little bit. And that is how I made drop number 16. And here we go, let's play it again. Let's start it from right here. So that was my first attempt at D&B, which is more of a D&B dubstep kind of thing mixed with fast tempo stuff. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and leave a like on this video, and I'll see you guys in next week's video. I post every Friday on this channel, so hope you guys enjoyed it, and until then, bye.